Welcome to Darlington, South Carolina for the regular season finale in the YCS Cup Series. 16 playoff spots and only 2 of those are available for those at or below the cut line. It's go time for these drivers and we're going to find out who makes it and who gets left behind. Here are almost all the drivers that need a win to make the playoffs. We know one will make it on points for sure, maybe 2, but basically from Ryan Newman on back, it's a must win for all these guys. This is the last chance to turn your season around. Well, let's take a look at the starting lineup. Ryan Newman, who is below that cut line, he's starting on pole with Jimmy Johnson to his outside. Row 2, Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch in the mix. Jeff Gordon, Martin Truex Jr., row 3. Jamie McMurray, Eric Almirola, they both need wins. They're in row 4. And Matt Kenseth and Brad Keselowski in row 5. Kyle Larson, Carl Edwards, row 6. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Greg Biffle, a couple of Roush cars in row 7. Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, row 8. Joey Logano, Austin Dillon, he's in the playoff picture. He's in row 9. And Denny Hamlin and Casey Kane in row 10. Trevor Bayne, Paul Menard, row 11. Clint Boyer, Dale Earnhardt Jr., row 12. Tony Stewart, AJ Allmendinger, row 13. Behind them, David Reagan and Danica Patrick. Sam Hornish Jr. and Justin Allgaier, row 15. Row 16, Michael McDowell, Casey Mears, Ty Dillon, Matt DiBenedetto, row 17. David Gilliland and Cole Witt, couple of teammates, in row 18. And Bobby Labonte in row 19. Green flag is in the air. Ryan Newman leads the field in a turn 1. And we'll be watching that cut line all race long as Ryan Newman holds a playoff spot as he takes the lead clear of Jimmy Johnson down the back stretch. Kyle Busch side by side with Kevin Harvick. He's going to need all the points he can get with Ryan Newman leading. He's only 2 above the cut line as Newman leads lap number 1, and we have a car stopped on the backstretch. The caution's out early. It's Bobby Labonte in the 32 car. Well, let's take a look at what happened. And it seems like he had an engine failure on his 32 car. So that's going to knock him out of the race. While the safety crew cleans him up, we'll take a look at the points. Kyle Busch just +2 over Austin Dillon. Jamie McMurray, he's out by 18 points and he's running 6th right now. So it's going to look like he's going to need to win this race. But the green flag is back in the air. Ryan Newman leads him into turn 1, but Jimmy Johnson takes him on the outside. Ryan Newman slips back to 2nd, and that'll put him 31 points out of the playoffs with Jimmy Johnson in the lead. Ryan Newman trying to keep up with Jimmy Johnson on that inside line. But it's the 48 who clears the 31 and will lead lap number 3. Next battle on the track, it's Jamie McMurray versus Kevin Harvick. McMurray trying to jump into the playoff picture as he gets by Kevin Harvick for the 4th spot, but not so fast. The 4 car battles him back on that inside line. Down the backstretch, Jamie McMurray fighting on the outside of Kevin Harvick. Now he's back to that 4th spot. Can he clear the 4 car? Off of turn number 4, yes he does, as Martin Truex Jr. goes around. Off of turn 4, the 78 into the inside wall. Caution's out again for the 2nd time today. And it's a lone spin by Truex Jr., who is locked into the playoffs on points. Oh, he may have had some help from Brad Keselowski. But it is a pretty slick racetrack. They don't call it the track too tough to tame for nothing. He may have just lost it coming off of turn 4. We've seen this before when we were at Darlington earlier this season. Cars getting loose and crashing off of corners. But while we have a moment, we can see where Newman lies without leading the race. Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch are in, +16 over Jamie McMurray. And the rest of them, they're definitely going to need to win this race. The 2 cars out on lap number 5. We're back green. Jimmy Johnson leading. And a turn 1 with Ryan Newman on his outside. Can Newman get back to the front and lock his way into the playoffs? Off of turn 2 there, side by side for the lead. Cars around. Carl Edwards hard in the wall. 5 cars involved. On the backstretch, the caution's out right after the restart. And they're going to red flag this one. with the backstretch being clogged up. Carl Edwards took a hard hit into that inside wall. Let's take a look at it again. We see Matt Kenseth and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. off the corner. It looks like Stenhouse may have got loose. An abrupt left turn and hard impact for the 19 car of Carl Edwards. He's going to be out of this race along with his teammate Matt Kenseth, as well as Chase Elliott and Greg Biffle. They both needed to win to make the playoffs. But watch Austin Dillon back here. He gets around this wreck to keep his playoff hopes alive. Good job for that 3 cars. We're ready for the restart. And Jimmy Johnson, big time loose. Off the bumper of Kyle Busch. He slides it and falls back to 5th. Johnson's out of the hunt as Ryan Newman reclaims the lead and puts his name back into the playoffs. Kyle Busch and Jamie McMurray battling for second. McMurray and Newman both need to win, and there can only be one winner. And Kyle Busch running second. He's only +1 above Austin Dillon with 3 laps to go. Kyle Busch may have to take this lead away from Ryan Newman. As they come off of turn number 2, Kyle Busch closing in down the backstretch. Here's Austin Dillon grabbing a spot from Dale Jr. Now they're tied on the cut line. 0 points above for Kyle Busch. And a big run from Jamie McMurray. He pushes Kyle Busch to the outside. It's the 18. Ryan Newman trying to defend the lead from Kyle Busch. Only one of these guys can make it into the playoffs. And here's Austin Dillon grabbing another spot from Stenhouse. He's into the playoffs now. Kyle Busch is out by 1 point and coming to the white flag. Here he comes to the outside of Ryan Newman. It's Kyle Busch. Big block on McMurray from Newman. Now everyone's sideways at a turn 1. Somehow they all save it and Newman is back to the front. Kyle Busch, contact made with Ryan Newman off at turn 2. Busch back to the lead. It's going to be a close finish to make the playoffs between Newman, Busch, and Jamie McMurray. Off of turn 4, contact made again. McMurray slid to the wall, and it's going to be Ryan Newman who wins at Darlington and makes the playoffs over Kyle Busch and Jamie McMurray. What a finish between these 3 drivers. Look at the contact. Busch is into the wall, McMurray hard into the inside wall, and Ryan Newman will win at Darlington and make the playoffs. What a battle, what a fight, as Ryan Newman burns it down for the fans here in South Carolina. Ryan Newman punches his ticket into the playoffs in dramatic fashion. Kyle Busch and Jamie McMurray fall short in 2nd and 3rd. Jimmy Johnson 4th, and Harvick rounds off that top 5. There's Austin Dillon. 12th place is good enough to make the playoffs for the 3 car. There's Denny Hamlin in 13th. He needed a lot more, just didn't have it today. We see Kyle Larson in 21st. Good recovery from that big wreck on lap number 6, which involved Carl Edwards and Matt Kenseth, who both are making the playoffs. But this is going to be bad for their momentum. Matt Kenseth's actually on 5 finishes outside the top 15 in a row. It has not been good for the 20 car. He's going to have to change his momentum entering the playoffs. But here you go, our 16 drivers to make the inaugural YCS Cup Series playoffs. Jeff Gordon, who won the regular season championship, he gets those 10 extra playoff points. He will be the points leader heading into the first race of the round of 16, which will take us to Dover Motor Speedway, the Monster Mile. Here it is, round of 16. Tracks will be Dover and Charlotte. A couple of unique tracks. But that's it for the regular season. The playoffs are coming up. Thank you all for stopping by, and I will see you in Dover for the round of 16.